movie yesterday on Chesil Beach by Ian McEwan. And I read the book a long time ago actually, and I liked the book. When I read it, but the only memory I have is that this young couple trying to conquer the difficulty of their love relationship. So only when they went to the beach for honeymoon, and some disaster happened there. Ian McEwan's fiction is always like a gothic novel. So that means if something happened in a regular normal life, something bad happened in a very happy life. So this is not the exception, and I can't divulge the storyline that much, but I think it's about young couple and really in love with each other, and they got married, and so they think, they are thinking of lots of kind of anticipation or difficulty of accepting it, or not knowing much about anything, right? They're both virgin, and therefore not knowing that much. That particular impact of not knowing that much is very strong. And this I think everybody can relate to. When you're young, you are victims of this ignorance, and because of that, your life changes drastically from there, and you learn little by little. But when you are aging, and you become like more tough skin, and you are getting like easier to live in the life. But when you're young, it's so difficult, so hard. That particular shocking events or whatever, it was so shocking that it destroys their life, and that happens to the most people. I think it's very real stories. So in this book, on Chesil Beach, when I read it, so okay, yeah, so that's a very nice, beautiful story. So I remember that, and then when this movie came out, I watched halfway, but it's the same thing as the book, so I kind of got bored, or I didn't watch it, not much at all. So last night I watched it whole through, and yeah, it is like I didn't watch it whole through the movie, and because of this movie, you learn more about this particular story, fictional story, and then you get pleased to find the ending and so forth, because ending. Okay, so this movie, not the book, movie is also the screenwriting is by the same Ian McEwan's writing. So he didn't change that much from this original book, but I think toward the end he added something there. So that was nice. I thought it was very nice touch to the movie, fun open movies. So I kind of strongly recommend. This is a beautiful book to read. I think, especially when you are, like reminiscing when you're young, in your years, youthful years of lots of difficulties in going through the lots of difficult questions, and you have to go through that experience, and so it's beautiful. And the movie also is very, very beautiful. That's two protagonists, Florence, played by Saoirse Ronan, was excellent. She portrayed very confident at the same time, very not knowing, searching, and also a little bit to the point where she feels like those sex, for example, is not most beautiful thing, I would say. But at the same time, she was longing for that. Edward, played by Billy Howell, also very, very good, playing this naive but intelligent guy who trying to conquer this difficulty, understanding the Florence and all these things. And both of them are very, very good in acting here, and I really like them in this movie. And I'm not sure who shot the cinematography. This picture that shows you, it's a beautiful shot of the beach. I think that's very, very nice. And also the music in the movie was very nice. Because Florence played like a first violin in a quartet. They use lots of quartet music, and according to their current mood or current situation, they use Beethoven's or Mozart or Franz Schubert's music, different occasion, and that was very, very beautiful. Also, this Edwards is not that much of the classical music, but he loved the rock and roll music. So he, in the movie, lots of rock and roll music comes in there. There's very, very dichotomy of beautiful string quartet, classical music, and the very hard sound of rock and roll music, kind of crashing each other. I love the classical music part of it, the rock and roll part. I thought it was a little bit too noisy, but I think that's the culture there. So it's a crash of those two. And I don't know, at the end you feel like you cry, maybe you cry as an audience, and you reminisce your younger years, your innocent, ignorant years, and you cry yourself, thinking of yourself, your own experience as well. So for that sense, I think this is an excellent, very, very beautiful book and beautiful movies. So I recommend you can read book both, watch the movie and read book. I think I would still recommend you, I don't know, either way, I think after watching movie, I have to reread this again, the last part of it, and the last part is a little bit edited in the movie and added something new, so I have to check on that. And I read this, and it's beautiful written book. So I think either way I can go. You can read book first, or you can watch the movie first, and you want to read the book after that. So Ian McEwan's book I read, mostly lots of books I read. I think I read this, and I read those things, and the Children's in Time, I read that, and The Machine Like Me, I read that too, and those books are so, I think it's so good. I think he when I read this as a English learner for second language, second foreign language. Sometimes his vocabulary is, like I don't know. He had lots of, many vocabulary he uses and words he uses. Sometimes for me that's kind of difficult. It's more difficult than Kazuo Ishiguro. I would say definitely to read, but it's beautiful. I think, I recommend Ian McEwan. All his book has something to say, but always, it's something bad happened in your happy life, and life changes completely, 180 degrees, whatever. But in that kind of a scenario, you still gain some knowledge of your life, and you thrive on that. That was kind of most of his book is like that, and which is quite good. And so, I would recommend on Chesil Beach.